Hello, you rabid wrestling fan. I know you are if you're listening to my Ring of Honor reviews, and I appreciate you because I am you. And this is the Ring of Honor review for January 28th, 2012. I am Smart Mark. Now that I've properly introduced myself, for you first-time listeners, this was a pretty solid Ring of Honor overall. I think it was a lot of setup going on for the coming weeks, so we did have kind of a lot of talking. But for a Ring of Honor show that generally is just all about the wrestling, I think you need shows like this every once in a while, and there was some good stuff. It opened up with Kevin Steen promo, just basically showing the destruction he left at Final Battle. Then we get Kevin Kelly, Nigel McGuinness announcing that the main event for tonight is Richards and O'Reilly versus Coleman and Alexander. Then we get the Embassy in a backstage segment, really featuring Tommaso Ciampa, and he's solid. So we get the promo, which leads into his match with T.J. Perkins, and in a match that had a lot of back and forth action, Ciampa ends up getting the win, and the Project Ciampa is a sick finisher. I really like this guy, and I feel like he is somebody that definitely should be on the watch this year. Hopefully, first they'll go like the TV title route, and then I definitely see him in the major world title scene as well in the future. Then we get they're talking about the upcoming pay-per-view in Florida, and we get the House of Truth doing a segment there, and Mr. Florida. I really liked that with Roderick Strong. I thought this was, and when the Truth Martini is always pretty entertaining to me, but when Roderick Strong gets on the mic a lot of times, I think it's a train wreck, and this time he kept it short and sweet, and it was a nice little segment. Then we get, they're coming back from the commercial, Ring of Honor's Most Beloved Wrestler segment, where they do a big spiel on Grizzly Redwood, how small he was and almost died when he was born, and really pulling at the heartstrings. It's not about his win-loss record. He's just, grateful to be a wrestler. It's his dream. So we get, the setup is it's going to be Grizzly Redwood against Devon Storm, and I think Devon Storm was wearing a monocle. I don't know. I remember seeing Storm in the past, but it has been a while. Anyways, so they're getting ready to go, and then House of Truth come out. Truth Martini gives Devon Storm $500 to beat it and let Elgin take his place in the match, or Elgin, and I was liking this a lot. Just added something to kind of unpredictable thing going on there, and Michael Elgin just kind of pretty much crushes Grizzly Redwood, and behind this big segment and everything, and he's pretty much just kicking his ass the whole time. Grizzly Redwood comes back towards the end, and kind of gets people thinking he can do it, I guess, but it was pretty obvious that Elgin just flipped the switch and beat the shit out of him. So made Michael Elgin look good, and he's another guy that, I want to go into basically what I started noticing here is a little bit more of, and I'm seeing this other places as well, like kind of focusing in on less talent, trying to put less people on the TV show every week, and giving the people that make it onto the show more time to work. And so right now on Ring of Honor, you're seeing a lot of the House of Truth, Richards, Edwards, KO, Kyle O'Reilly, Kevin Steen is heavily featured here. After the Elgin and Redwood match, there's a Kevin Steen Carino kind of wrap up a final battle, and then it kind of spins into Kevin Steen. Everybody's felt like they're in a cage, and I think he's really solid on the mic. So then it kind of shows Jim Cornette talking, why he hates Kevin Steen, and next week when Kevin Steen's live on the show, he's got a message for Jim Cornette has a message for Steen, and he's not going to like it. So then I think this is coming back to the, he's going to fine him every time he does a move, and something like that. But it's a pretty good setup, and I'm really excited to see where they go with Steen this year. Then we get the Inside Ring of Honor, and I really felt overall this was one of the better Inside Ring of Honor segments, because there were things, it was pertinent, and they didn't seem to really drag it out forever. The one segment was a little long that they opened with, where it was kind of talking about Eddie Edwards and Kyle O'Reilly, and just how Kyle O'Reilly stayed loyal to Davey Richards, whereas Eddie Edwards didn't. And obviously this is some setup for a match they're going to have probably at the 10th anniversary show, I would imagine. But Edwards and O'Reilly, I'm kind of excited because I like Kyle O'Reilly a lot, and I'm interested in seeing if they can propel him a little bit. And I think, just because he's not necessarily, I get a lot of it being that he's in Richards' shadow, that they have to kind of go the slow route with building him up, I think, and this is a good way to get that off the ground. We find out that Bennett is going to get a TV title shot against Jay Lethal with no time limit, and that'll be good. I think that's next week, actually, so that would be an awesome match, I think, and hopefully we see Bennett win, finally. Then we get Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team talking about how they're not getting their rematch. Their next match is against the Bravados, and they're having to start from the ground up again, which is BS. And I'm liking it. I like the way, Ring of Honor just does a great job of featuring tag team. And the way that they've moved them into the heel role behind, basically when they had no choice but. They're doing it pretty smart, I think. Then we get Young Bucks get a shot at the 10th anniversary show against Dem Boys. So that match getting announced, I'm excited to see that. Hopefully we get to see the best of both teams there, and it's not just a thing where Briscoes kind of crush them, which I do think Briscoes will hold the titles for a while, so I wouldn't expect the Young Bucks to get the win, but man, they're an exciting team. So then we get to the finale here, Richards and O'Reilly against Coleman and Alexander. Cornette joined on commentary, kind of setting up some things, and obviously talking a lot about Kevin Steen. And this was a awesome tag team match with just so much action. And Coleman and Alexander were hitting some things that especially Cedric Coleman just really impressed me in this match, because he's one of the bigger guys. And he's not a huge guy, but he is kind of built pretty solid, and he's still pretty agile. So it was a very fun match to watch from beginning to end, and Richards and O'Reilly end up getting the win. And man, Davey Richards was just intense in this match, I felt like, and not really working heel, but really just all over the place. And before he would go in for a move, which is, smart wrestling, really, he'd go hit the guy that wasn't the legal man before he went in to interfere and stuff. I don't know. It just, I really liked the way the teams worked against each other in this. I really felt like this match just told a great story. And then at the end, Eddie Edwards comes out clapping for him. And, I think this is going to be another thing that they kind of put in O'Reilly's spin here to be like, well, we didn't need Edwards coming out. He was, being an asshole. So, awesome show. Crowd was into it, and hopefully they can keep this kind of momentum up, because I feel like the show's really been pretty exciting for the last few weeks. I'm going to rate it a show, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If not, let me know. Let me know what you thought. What's wrong with it? Let's get into it a little bit. Let's mix it up. I promise I can hold my own, and I won't bitch out. So if you got something to say, say it. And I try my hardest to reply to all of your comments. So thanks for listening, guys. Like I said, if you're listening to this, you are a hardcore wrestling fan, and there's nothing wrong with that. Kind of doing a marathon session today, playing catch up. So did the IWO show earlier, and now I'm doing Ring of Honor, getting ready to do the FCW review. So please feel free to check out all three, and it's a great way for me to spend a Saturday. I don't know about you guys, but I can talk wrestling and watch wrestling all day and be a happy man. Please subscribe to the show, and we will see you next time.